Welcome to the Safelite Derive Efficiency instructional video tutorial. Today you will learn locating the vehicle's emission sticker, dashboard disassembly, locating the factory OBD2 port, connecting the Derive programmer, and programming the vehicle. The emission sticker on these Chevy Express vehicles are located in a different place within the engine block. Right here we see that this is the emission sticker, and it's located on top of the air filter. What we're looking for is the actual engine size to this vehicle, because you will need this later on when it comes to program the vehicle using our handheld programmer. So right here we can see that this is a 4.3 liter engine. So whenever you are asked to select the engine size in the programming tool, this is what you're going to make sure that you highlight and enter. On the Chevy Express, different than the Ford vehicles, on the bottom portion of the lower dash are two 10mm screws, one on the right hand side and one on the very left hand side. What we need to do first to remove this dash is to take these 10mm screws out first, and then the rest of the dash is clipped in through the top. I'm going to take my 10mm socket, now we have the one screw on the right side removed. We want to do the same thing on the left side. Now here you can use either a nut driver or a socket set with an extension and a 10mm socket for the end. Okay, that screw is now removed. Now the rest of the dash should come apart by pulling on the top portion to remove the clips, and that will expose the underside of the dash. Now we're going to take apart the top portion of the dash, which is held in by clips only. It's very easy to remove. You just start pulling on them. Very difficult and hard, but they will eventually come out. So as you can see here, these are where the clips are located that I just removed the dash from. Once the dash is apart, we're locating the OBD2 and GeoTab connector. As we can see, it's located right here. So what I'm going to do is just tug on it a little bit, and then I'm going to disconnect the GeoTab from the OBD2 port. Now this is the factory OBD2 port that we're going to be connecting our programmer in. We removed the GeoTab device from the factory OBD2 port. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the programmer and go through the steps and processes in the programmer to show you how to program this specific vehicle. Now we're going to take the end of the programming plug that leads to the programmer and plug it into this OBD2 port from the factory. When you put it in, you want to make sure it has a nice tight fit. And as you see, it now powers this device on, because this device does not have any batteries. The only power it receives is from the connection to the OBD2 port. And as you can see here, we have our main menus up, and this is where we will begin the actual programming process itself.
Gotcha.
There's going to be times when your programmer is going to ask you on the screen to turn the key off and on. So you want to make sure that when you do turn it on, that you turn it on to the second click, not the first one, but the second one, to where everything lights up on the dashboard. And then it will tell you to turn the key off, and then it may tell you again to turn the key back on. Again, turn it to where everything lights up on the dashboard. That is the only way that the programmer then can communicate with the vehicle's computer system. As I mentioned before, when you plug in the programmer to the factory OBD2, as you noticed at the beginning of the screen, it said Safelite on it. Then it went to Derive Efficiency. Now it's at its main menu, and this is where we're going to start to program the vehicle. So what you want to make sure is that the program vehicle, Derive, is highlighted. As you can see, you can scroll here, you can scroll back and forth, but automatically that comes up is program vehicle. You want to press the select button, and that's kind of like your enter button, and then it will take you to the next screen with two icons. You can either return it to factory settings, which is stock, or we can install the actual program itself. The vehicle tune for this van is already preloaded into the programming device. Again, it's highlighted Install Derive Efficiency, so we want to press Select to continue. Now it's telling me to turn the key on, but do not start the engine. As previously mentioned, at this point, this is where we want to turn the key on to the second click to where everything lights up on the dashboard. Press Select to continue. Right now, what's going through is reading the vehicle information to make sure that it's compatible. And as you can see, there's a status bar. This status bar tells you the progress of this specific function. Now, the next screen that pops up is going to be the engine. So I want you to select the engine size. In some cases, there can be several different engine sizes show up on this screen. What you want to do is make sure that, as we've already identified, this is a 4.6 liter engine. So we want to highlight the 4.6 liter E series, it's Econoline, and press Select. Now at this point, it's asking you, do you want to do the standard install or go to advanced install? The standard install, which is already highlighted for you, is the actual pre-programmed tune that your corporate office wants us to put on this vehicle. So you press Select. The next screen that pops up is Program Vehicle. Do you want to begin the program or do you want to cancel? At this point, if you think that you selected the wrong engine, you can scroll down and press Cancel. But we know that we selected the correct engine on this van, and so what we want to do is highlight Begin Program and press Select. Now it's going to start going through a series of screens, and the first thing that it does is it uploads the stock information from this vehicle, and at this point, that's when this device records the VIN showing this van was tuned a specific way. And again, you're always going to see the status bar. Now you can see at the bottom here where it says do not unplug. While this vehicle now at this point is being programmed and recording information as well, do not turn the key off, do not remove the key, or do not unplug this device. By doing so, it will actually prevent this vehicle from starting once everything is done, and you could get some error messages. So you want to make sure that if you have to leave this vehicle for any reason at this point, that you tell the driver or anyone surrounding this vehicle that it's being programmed. Don't take the key out, don't turn it off, and don't unplug this device. As you can see by watching the status bar, it's uploading the stock information and it's 95% complete. You may hear the vehicle's tone system chime up. There's nothing to worry about. Now it says the upload is complete. Now it's going to go through a series of screens that have really nothing to do with programming the vehicle. It's just making sure that all the information that's been collected is accurate and correct. And now it's setting up the device to get ready to load or download the program onto the vehicle. Sometimes this can take several minutes. As we see here now, it's now beginning to download the standard install package that your corporate office has selected for this vehicle. And again, it's always going to give you a status bar. And again, just as a reminder, do not unplug this device from the OBD2 port. Do not turn the key off or do not remove it. As you can see here, the status bar indicates that it's 99% complete, now 100% complete. That doesn't mean that the program is finished. It has to go through and still continue to talk to the ECM for a few more seconds. Now it tells you it's downloaded. Still, do not turn the key off or do not unplug. The device will tell you to do so. As you can see now, it says turn key off, install is complete, press select continue. So first what we're going to do is turn the key off. We're going to remove it, and then we're going to press select to continue. And as you can see, it goes back to the main menu, and so that means this download of this vehicle for the programming is complete. Now that the device has finished programming this vehicle, we are going to disconnect the OBD2 and the cord from the programmer, and we are going to now go in and reconnect the GeoTab device into the OBD2. Push it in all the way to make sure it's secure, and then we're just going to tuck it right back up where it was before. So now we're putting the dash back together. We want to make sure that this top piece slides in on the top of the plate that it was resting on before. And we also want to make sure that our clips are all aligned. Once the clips are all aligned, then we're going to then push them in with a little force until you hear a click. So the clips are now in. Now it's time to reinsert the 10mm screws.
I'm still recording.
Okay, now here we go to insert the screws. You're just going to reinsert just as we took them apart. Make sure it's just hand tight. We're going to come over here to this side and do the same exact thing. Make sure it's hand tight. And we have now reinserted the dash back in, and the vehicle is ready to go.